No, because I had it half screen and it doesn't
Okay.
scroll. Are we
No.
up? Are we in?
Maybe.
Give it a sec.
We'll rent and we'll roar as true British sailors will rent and we'll roar all on the salt sea.
We are live.
Hey! Alright, awesome. All
You need to change the name of the stream.
Yes, I do. Let's edit that.
Yeah, this also is not episode 19.
It's a 20, right?
It's episode 20.
Alright, groovy.
Hello, Kira.
Hi, Kira.
Hi, Kira.
Alright.
Cool.
Alright, cool. I'm sorry about all that.
Not a problem. Thank you for setting up, as always. Hello, not children. We've already had this debacle. I've done my intro already and been reminded that this is not safe for kids. Kids, please get the hell out.
Oof.
But to all of you privileged few semi-children out there, welcome back to Taikangaard. It's been a very long time. We're really happy to be back here.
Dang.
So, I mean, I guess technically y'all have been languishing in jail for 2.5 weeks. I'm really sorry. Not in jail. I don't know.
3, actually.
Has it been 3 yet? Yeah, no,
Yes.
this is the 3rd week. So it's been 3 weeks that the party has been languishing, waiting in the, I don't know, the lobby. Of
The lobby?
Muzak playing in the background.
We can make this like ancient Egyptian vaporwave, but everybody's just sitting there doing nothing.
Exactly. So to recap where we have been for the past couple of weeks, or where the players have been. The players were unfortunately privy to the apparent murder of a man named Haran, who claimed to have intimate details regarding a relationship between what's her face's name? A high power politician in Jalbar and a foreigner from I believe we said Mariel. I'm trying to
Telev.
What is her name?
Her last name is Telev.
Mirana Telev.
Mirana Telev and an unnamed politician from, I literally cannot. I'm pretty sure we said Mariel, but I'm not.
Mariel. It was definitely Mariel.
Okay, thank you. I can't find it anywhere in my notes all of a sudden. That's really concerning.
Because it was it's the country that I'm from, and part of my thing was like, why would I help you guys? Yeah.
Yes. So Haran, you witnessed Haran's apparent murder, and met his wife Leah, as she was coming back from, it seems, just the city center. You met her coming out of the house and were able to, through some slight lies, some little white lies, and some
Little white
bit of
lies?
improvisation, conversation. Very little lies. Sweet little lies.
That have turned into very large lies.
Yes, somewhat
What if
unwieldy
y'all had
lies.
stuck to the story?
You convinced Leah that you were trustworthy and went off to find guards to help take care of the situation. However, upon finding the guards demanded that you fought, but those of you who had gone to collect them continue back to the house with them, where unfortunately there were some discrepancies with your stories and some confusion. Therefore, the guards marched you off to the guardhouse to be questioned by a familiar face, Sergeant Shabazz. Then, at that point, requested to have a private audience or a private discussion with Sergeant Shabazz in order to try and iron out some of the kinks that had occurred. In the meantime, while you were investigating within the house, just for the sake of our listeners, you guys did determine that the poison seemed to have been in the drink. Leah let you know
which we took some of.
Yes, you did take some samples. Leah let you know that the drink was given by a supporter or a friend that she was unsure of the name of. But you were unable to determine any other details other than those few before things kind of went a little bit crazy. There are also some of you, not all of you are actually at the guardhouse. Who is it? Francis?
Azalea and Clover, we are back in the hotel.
inn.
Yeah.
Fen is alone.
Yeah.
I'm out in the
Amari
street.
and Ven are
Let's
at the
try it.
guardhouse.
That's correct.
Oh,
So,
boss lady.
What?
When we were talking about the poisoned wine,
they said lost lady. Wait, when you were saying
no,
what?
if I remember correctly, Leah said that the poisoned wine that they'd had that bottle for a while, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that that was true.
Who is manning text tonight? It's not me. All right, so that is where you all are in your. Unfortunately, this party's split in a few different locations. I want to establish a couple things first. Fen, where are you right now?
I was on my way to the Talevs.
Okay. All right. Were you planning on like staking out the place? Or you?
No, I wanted to go
trying
talk to the Talevs.
Okay. If you don't mind, then I'm going to start with Ben.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And just for clarification, when I said like private, I kind of just meant like our party members and him.
Okay.
Didn't have to be just me. I just didn't want what's her face, Leah.
Okay, to be present. Correct. All right.
Right.
All right.
So also that means that Felix is involved in this, and Felix is better at talking to people than I am.
All right. Just you'll want to reiterate that. Like you can reiterate that when the sergeant comes around to talk to you.
Cool.
All right. So those of you who are in the guardhouse, one of the guards escorts you to a relatively large room. You imagine there probably isn't a holding cell large enough for your kind of motley assortment. Although there's only 3 of you, but they find a quiet room, and one of the guards, the guard who escorts you, shuts the door behind you, locks it, and stands watch, and seems to not move away from the door. And you imagine that he's most likely standing his post right by. The room is not well furnished. There's one table and a couple of chairs, one very small window, kind of high up on the wall.
Kidding me? They didn't give us the swanky interrogation room.
Yeah, no, they reserve those for like real criminals.
We're not even real criminals.
No, of course not.
Consider yourself.
What is this encouraging?
What'd you say?
The worse your crime, the swankier the interrogation room? What is this encouraging?
Typical prison system. I
have some questions about your prison system.
It depends on who you ask. It's mostly the people complaining that people on death row, get fancy life sentence. Don't worry about it. It was very micro political. Don't worry about it.
Ye oldie death row.
Death row. Back when death was death.
No, just like multiple times in my life, I've come across people who are like complaining that these death row inmates and like fancy meals for their. I'm like, that's your last meal.
They get one last meal.
Well, the rest of us don't get fancy last meals.
Yeah. Plus, also like somebody said that like their prisons are like they're like in like a high security prison that's like not that bad for most of and they end up living out most of their lives on death row because we don't execute people that often. I don't know. This is a while ago. Pretend I didn't. I made a reference to something that I thought more people had heard. It doesn't mean that it was true.
That's. I was thinking, like, somebody rolls up to the Supermax. I want to speak to your manager about death row.
Yeah. So yeah, it was probably Karen. Yes, we would like to make the disclaimer that probably none of the views expressed on Crit Bunny are held by all of us. None of them may be true. We're not entirely sure. This is a great site for fake news.
Well, that's encouraging.
Ethan was turning into a chicken.
Tasha's the only beacon of truth on this website.
Tasha's playing the consummate liar of the group.
Oh gosh. All right. Anyway, so as I said, there's no furnishings. You do notice that there is one pitcher sitting on the table with a stone cup next to it. When you look in it, it's just water. As you guys are standing there, you start pacing around the room for a good 15-20 minutes. as best you can guess, we've already been over this. It's some time passes, and after a while, you hear shuffling outside of the door, and it creaks inward to admit Sergeant Shabazz. He looks none the worse for wear, his face relatively unperturbed, as he takes his seat in front of you. Well, you certainly have come across some very interesting circumstances. Now, would you like to tell me what happened, please?
Happy to. So, we should probably, and, oh wait, that was gone. I guess I won't say Felix chime in whenever you want.
Oh.
I
I was like thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, no, Felix is definitely with you.
yeah, well,
Oh.
I was gonna
he's
say-
like gone.
yeah, he's gone.
Oh.
Noah has vanished. I ate him. I teleported from cannibalism and teleported back all without you noticing.
That escalated very quickly. He's gone. I ate him.
Tasha the teleporting cannibal coming to TBS soon.
Gosh. Holy fuck.
A heartwarming show.
Dang long leg.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to preface this by saying we may be in a bit of a precarious situation here. We really don't know who we're able to trust. We're taking a chance and trusting you, since you were the one who was kind enough to warn us about the Televs as we were leaving town. I am going to tell you the truth, the whole truth. Whatever you need to do to prove that what I'm telling is true, do it. If you need to bring a mage in, cast a truth spell on me, go for it. I'm not going to resist. Whatever I need to do to clear our name, because this is potentially way over our pay grade.
Excellent. We will bring in the torturers now. Please continue.
Okay. Here's the bit where it's been a month out of game and I can't remember all the details.
Okay.
But I'm basically just going to straight, beginning to end, start recounting what happened until he died, and then his wife came. And at that point, I'm going to start being like, we weren't sure at this point. Like, we don't know if this was a setup, because clearly they didn't want their own servants doing it, and they hustled us out the back. So when the guy mysteriously killed over dead, we were a little concerned that this might be a setup, especially when someone claiming to be his wife, who then seemed a little bit more put together than people, I imagine somebody finding a body would be. I don't know, we were certainly more freaked out when we found bodies before and they weren't related to us. Came in 5 minutes after this whole thing happened. So we don't really know if the Televs have set us up to take the fall for this. And if they have, who might be in their pocket trying to make sure it happens.
Hey.
We're hoping that we can trust you not to be.
Okay. I'm going to have you pause for 1 second because you said, recap the what are you telling him about your meeting with Haran? Are you telling him what he disclosed to you?
I will give a rough overview, I guess.
Okay.
What I missed?
Anything major that you're leaving out?
1 sec. Noah, we're talking to the guard captain, trying to tell him the trout, the whole trout, nothing but the trout, basically. And
Got it.
I
Okay.
sort of was like, whatever you need to do to prove that we're telling the truth, go for it. If you want to bring in people to cast truth spells, we're not going to resist. We just want to clear our name, and we don't know if we've been set up, so we don't know who we can trust.
Okay, makes sense. Sorry for randomly dropping out. I got a call about burning washing machines at Cairn.
Oh, sweet.
Why are they calling you about that?
Nice.
I'm
You're
on call. I'm maintenance for the dorms at
Oh,
Cairn.
Are you?
I'm on call at the moment, so.
Were they actually burning?
Yes, but it wasn't something that was actually an emergency. They just needed to not use that washing machine till tomorrow.
Burning washing machines aren't an emergency?
It was on fire. We just,
Not to adore maintenance people.
we grabbed some marshmallow, grabbed some wieners, just stood around
There's
roasting
nothing
them.
that I can do about it right now. It's something where it's going to need to be opened up, and it's going to be one of the, most likely the motor that's causing the smoke or the belt. And so it's not really going to be something I'm going to fix tonight. So it just needs to be.
Was it somebody overloading it? Because that's what happened when there was a fire in our laundry room in my apartment building.
They claimed that no one was overloading it, but
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
Who is
no.
they?
It's
It is freshmen. They definitely overloaded it. Especially if it's freshman guys, because then they would
Yes.
do their laundry every 3 months, and it's like
Yeah.
every single pair of clothes they've ever worn.
everything goes in, and those motors really can't take that much.
Hey,
Yeah, no,
hey,
that's
hey!
all.
I resemble that remark.
Resemble
So
or
do I.
resent?
I honestly,
That's the point of the joke.
honestly, I do as
I
well.
beg
Like,
pardon for my lack of understanding. Please forgive me.
no, I probably did my laundry like 3 times a semester.
God, really? I had to teach my freshman year roommate that you were supposed to wash sheets.
Oh!
Can we never speak of this ever again?
Oh, you think that's bad?
I've heard worse.
Yes.
We're moving on. We're just gonna
Oh, you
move
think
on.
that's bad? Let's go to the time when I had to tell her that the black stuff on the food that she left on her desk for 2 weeks was not supposed to be there. And she
Oh!
disagreed.
Who raised her?
I also got to teach her that metal did not go in microwaves.
Okay, I honestly feel like you may have gotten played by this chick.
No,
Throw back to the time that I accidentally put a pack of Pop-Tarts in the microwave without removing the foil, and I shrink-wrapped my Pop-Tarts.
I also had to teach her how to use an ATM.
Disturbed.
She came
Is
from
she
a
not-
family where, because she was good at music, like that was the only thing she did, and she never got taught lessons because she was always practicing.
Oh.
And in point of fact, she's a very good violin player.
True. Wait, she's Violet. It's a true Ling.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna get that reference except me.
Anyway, sorry.
Watch him. She said Violet.
According to Kira, you should have let her eat that food that was on her desk. She would have learned the hard way.
Yeah, I would have had to clean up the vomit off the floor.
Yeah, that's
Fair.
true.
Let's be
Alright.
honest here, she never cleaned her half of the room either.
Yeah, no.
I'm not so mad about this 3 years later. Of course not.
She probably didn't know how to clean vomit up. She may have known how to clean the blood from her fingertips off. But anyway, all right. Getting back. All right, so given that you're not leaving out any major details from Haran's.
Just the
Yeah.
rough outline of Haran's.
Are we telling him what we
Yeah.
did with the money?
I don't know what
No.
you did with the money.
Oh, right.
I left the house with the money in the thing and came back and it wasn't there anymore. I have no idea what happened to it. Because you guys had split it up while I was outside.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm. And the 3 of you back at the hotel, 2 of you have like 4,500 gold pieces of it, and I'm
Yeah.
carrying another 4,000.
I thought it was only
there
2,000.
was only 2,000.
Whatever it was,
It's
it was like
multiplied.
no.
See,
It's just-
when 2 coins love each other very much.
Make it and claim it is make it and claim it.
I wish it worked that way.
Yes.
I would
Right.
have my money in coins.
Declare that this 2,000 become 10,000. 10,000. Yeah.
Here's Mommy Dollar and Daddy Dollar. Anybody get that reference? Anybody? No? Okay.
Okay, no, legitimate. Like,
But
We're not
if
gonna-
Harriet Tubman had been put on, sorry.
Nope, not going there.
what did you just say? Y'all about to get rolled. Don't get me started.
No, I was making a really bad reference that none of you would get. I'm sorry.
Fortunately, we didn't because I ended up going a really wrong way. Also, I realized that you were probably talking about 2 Harriet Tubman dollars. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and hope that you were talking about 2 Harriet Tubman dollars and not Harriet Tubman any other white guy.
No, I was talking about two Harriet Tubman. Come
Okay.
on. Okay, I'll explain it later.
Okay,
We're
for
on
the
a
sake of
roll.
time, let's.
I'm so lost in this conversation.
It does not
I'm
matter.
very lost as well.
Me
I made it
too.
really racist. It's my fault. Guys, love is racist again.
God, I love this racist again.
Kira says time to talk about the coins and the bills.
Hang on, we have to change the nickname to Once More Racist Love.
Yes.
Yeah, what's worried?
All right. Crying out loud. I'm doing a terrible job today.
Oh,
right.
guys, I figured out what we're
So-
doing this stream.
All right, so we've talked about the things.
Is
And-
Felix
alright.
in the room with this explanation happening?
Yes,
Yes.
all of you who were taking.
I was going to tell you to chime in as you wish. Especially because once you go to get the guards, I don't know what happened.
And so you claim that this was spoken to. That was what I wanted you to do. Please make a diplomacy check.
Is there anything
Actually,
that
no.
makes life easier
Well, I'm thinking about that
to
because it would be-
mitigate
because
my
you would need to
terrible
make-
diplomacy?
I'm actually gonna look for DM input from this because technically he would be rolling a sense a sense motive check on you. So I don't know how you would.
All right, there you go.
I never know how to like mitigate this when I'm not
so-
the one rolling it.
Okay, so who's rolling against? So is it a contested?
He's
roll?
rolling sense motive on me to see if I'm telling the truth, and I am telling the truth.
So like I guess there doesn't need to be a roll.
Oh.
Maybe roll the d20 and
Yeah,
Just to
no.
see if I
So
believe
here's the
you,
thing.
yeah.
Have her be have her be a low set DC. So he's just making
Yeah.
a check.
Oh, fudge that.
Give him
Like
no,
a-
give
you can have
him
a super low DC.
give him advantage too, because he
I
would. 'Cause he
did.
already believes her.
I did, and I rolled a natural one first, so I don't even know what that would have been.
The advantage.
I would suggest that you not speculate about these things,
I'd
particularly.
love to. I'd appreciate if we could just get out of town and not get killed or framed. We
I would
don't
like-
care what's going on with your politicians.
I understand, however, and I do believe you. I want you to know that. I would like to hear the men's half of this story, particularly when they went to get the guards, because I am very confused as to how, if this is all true, how this became so complicated. And
Yeah, you
why
and me
were-
both.
However, I can tell you now that based on the information you have given, I highly doubt that you will be able to leave town, at least not today. Perhaps later, but based on the information, because you are the only surviving person, it seems, who has heard this information. So far, you are the only surviving witnesses to this information. There's going to be a significant amount of investigation. And
I
we
suspect
will
his
need your
wife knows
testimony.
as well.
Perhaps, but she has not mentioned any of this.
I
Is
doubt
his
she
wife not
would.
in the room with us right now?
No.
But he waited. You guys were waiting for about almost half an hour before he showed up.
I suspect she wouldn't if she thinks her husband was killed for it.
That is
If she
likely-
is, in fact, who she says she is, she's in about the same situation we are.
that is very likely.
Afraid for her life and gonna try and keep quiet and out of the way.
That's very likely.
Mhm.
That's very likely true. Which is why your testimony, your willingness to tell this story, to tell us what is going on, is going to become even more valuable.
It needs to be anonymous then.
That could very likely be arranged. I will not speak further. We will have to meet with the lieutenant in order. This is above my authority, unfortunately, to be able to say what happens
above-
next.
My pay grade. Sorry, I thought.
Technically, technically, trust me, Sergeant Shabazz, you get the sense is a very fair man, and probably he's youngish. You get the sense he wouldn't mind being the lead investigator on this and getting the promotion.
Hey.
But you know, it basically, if you roll a sense motive check high enough, then you'll figure that out. I don't care.
Cool.
That started out as a joke and became character development in about 0.2 seconds.
Shabazz, I sense you have ambition.
Shuffles cards, ambitions, shuffles cards, promotion.
I see a pay raise in your future.
Shabazz, he wants to go back and get that.
Picky notes.
Shabazz in the adult ongoing learners program.
What I sense you shuffles cards. Want to go back to school? What?
Art school? Shabazz, you never told us that.
All right.
Oh my word.
He turns to who went? So Felix went.
Yeah.
Felix
Neither
Finn
of the
and
guys are
Francis.
with you.
It's just Felix who's left.
Did you mention where the other guys went, or did you leave that out?
I don't know where they went.
Yeah.
Well, did you mention that?
I
Did you
said they
mention
went to
I
get the guards, and Felix came back with the guards.
Okay,
I don't know where the others went.
I see. Um,
I have plausible deniability on a small amount of this.
okay.
That's
I'm
actually
just,
true.
I'm just making sure I have your pieces because I don't want to have him to like conjecture based on something that you didn't say. So Felix, please, what
Yes?
happened when you went to find the guards?
We found a guard, and we decided that to avoid being immediately getting in more trouble, since we did not know how dangerous things would be, how political things would be, we would want to try and, at least until we were in a better position, keep things seeming as innocent as possible for us. So they approached the guards saying they had found me,
He'll
trying
double
to
figure
find a guard.
which they,
Um,
Francis and
Francis and Thenmere.
I see.
And so we found a guard, and I, being blind, had told them everything that I'd heard, but tried to play it off as though I was not one who was a part of any conversations, just that I was there at the time and found a dead body. At which point the others made excuses to leave and left me with the guard to go and see the body. Or in my case, not see the body.
You notice Shabazz trying not to. The corner of his mouth twitch slightly. I see. And none of you have any idea where your counterparts now are.
That's correct.
Are you entirely sure that they
I
were all together? Never mind.
can guess that they may have been going back to join the other members of our group, but I don't know for certain.
Yes. And where are you staying? Remind me.
What's the end name?
I don't remember.
It's like the hole in the wall type thing.
Yeah,
How do I
like
keep
the
it?
desert
It feels really
sunset.
bad.
It was like desert.
We talked about this like last
I'm just
time
gonna say
too.
it's a small inn built near the wall in the, I think it was the east part of town.
That is correct.
Yes,
we literally had this exact conversation like at the
Yeah.
end of last session because we couldn't remember the name then either.
It's okay if you guys don't remember. That's not something that happens to normal people, though. Like
Yeah,
like sometimes
I'm just gonna describe to him where it is,
yeah.
just like I just
Which is
said.
great because you're the blind kid.
Right.
I will be following up on this information. Here's what I can do. I need to have the testimony of your other friends. And what of the small one that was with you? Is Azalea?
She left relatively early on.
Do you know where she went as well?
No.
None of your party saw her leave?
I think
I did
She
not
was-
see her do anything.
I don't even remember when or where Azalea left. So
So
I do.
Francis told her to go out the window
Like before
when-
Leah arrived.
right before
I
before
think she
Leah
was
got
talking with Francis last time I saw her.
I see. All right. What I can do is I will write a note from me for the guards to go and I forgive my language, but to collect the other members of your party. They are not under arrest. We simply need them to give their statements if you wish, they can give them specifically to me.
It may be best if one of us go with the guards to collect them, so that they are not afraid they're all being attacked or something.
Yeah, we're a little paranoid right now.
Make a diplomacy check with disadvantage.
Alright.
Jeez, come on, roll well, Noah, roll well.
Come on,
I
diplomacy
said
man.
advantage, right? Not disadvantage.
You said disadvantage.
Oh, I meant with advantage. I'm sorry. I can't
Mhm.
talk. There's no reason for you to have disadvantage.
Mhm. Let me see here.
Please tell me you're using real dice
Yes.
for your own sake.
Noah's ceiling.
21.
Hey!
The guy, Shabazz looks slightly nervous, but yes, that's That would be acceptable. Please choose one of your members to go. However, if any of you disappear, we may have to take stricter action against you.
Understood. We have no reason to disappear. You're our best shot at getting out of this unscathed, especially if we have been set up.
This is very true.
I will go with the guards.
All right, that would be
Also,
well.
yeah, we don't know where they are.
Are you entirely? He kind of blushes a little bit. My dear Felix, I commend you for your willingness to assist. However, I would, if that is, if you do not mind, I would prefer one of your seeing counterparts to go.
I'll go.
I mean no offense at all.
Disable list!
Disable list loves back in the I
There's
mean
a
no
dance?
disrespect. I simply I believe it would help the guards to be able to locate your friends.
I can go with you.
All right.
Yeah.
And Felix, I commend you, but I could use you also here, or your party could. We will need you to speak with Lieutenant Abad, as it will be his decision as to what steps to take next. And I would appreciate the Abab, whatever his name, whatever.
Abab,
The
guy who we always
I would
forget.
like. It may help your cause if you are willing to give your statement to him directly, rather than simply through me.
Okay.
If this is a setup, are you convinced that your boss would not be in on it?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
If this is a setup, how likely is your boss to be in the pocket of the Talebs?
Well, I certainly cannot answer that officially. However, off the record, your guess is as good as mine. I trust Lieutenant Abab with my life. He is my superior officer. He has shown himself to be a worthy and I literally cannot think of the word. He's shown himself to be a worthy and dependable man. One very honest and a man of integrity. So I trust him. However, the Talebs are well endowed with significant funds. I cannot. Shut up! We are going to do that. Literally the worst.
I only have to make a
Wherever
clicking
Senir
sound.
is, a boulder falls from the sky and kills him. And falls specifically on his own endowment.
Very specific trajectory there.
So it's just like
I am God.
it comes out of space like at this angle.
Freaking meteorite.
It's not even that. A boulder does not fall. Just like the entire Earth erupts directly in between your legs.
Split.
Ooh,
Anyway,
spicy.
the Talebs are incredibly wealthy, and I would not, especially in the hard times that Jalbar is suffering, I would not be surprised if anyone in the city could be bought off. So, your best shut up. Your best option is. I will try and keep this out of as many ears as possible. I will.
We appreciate
Lieutenant
that.
Shabazz, so far as Lieutenant Abad is the only one who needs to know at this point the full details.
Can I ask your opinion? Are we being set up?
I truly have no idea. It does not. To me, this is not unheady.
They weren't so cagey about the whole thing, and getting us out without being seen, I wouldn't be as paranoid, but...
Yeah.
Well, based on the information that they gave you, I could give them the benefit of the doubt. It is very scandalous information that would be met with absolute outrage in the city, both for for her choice of partners and for her specific dealings. It would not be well received here. So, It is very likely. It could very well be that they were being upfront and simply did not want the information or the money to fall into the wrong hands. However, politicians are politicians. There's
By the
always
way, Gabrielle, if you want to laugh, check your phone.
there's always. I want to just finish this without.
Sorry, I thought you
breaking
were done.
character. No, it's fine. I'm just really bad at breaking character tonight. So there's always a chance. I will say, and at least on Anhedi's part, it does not seem to be his style. It would certainly have to be his wife. But that is as much as I can say, and of course, all of that is very much off the record. Right. I would ask that you stay here. I will have some refreshments brought for you. I'm sure you must be slightly shaken.
I seem to have a bad habit of finding bodies.
Luck, fortune chooses its victims in curious ways, but that does not mean that you are always going to be the victim. Will always be the victim of bad fortune.
Or as Kira put it, we swear, we keep running to these bodies. It's correlation, not causation. Unless you believe we're the main characters in the machinations of an omniscient being. But what are the chances of that?
Kira also says that she would definitely watch a Tasha the Teleporting Cannibal sitcom. So.
Thanks, Kira. Always bringing us the new ideas. 20 years down the line, when Tasha the Teleporting Cannibal is like a TBS show, we just had to be like, I want to thank the Academy and my darling cousin Kira for this idea. You believed in me. I don't know why you just got like hypersonic.
Yeah, since my voice is pretty low.
Oh, thank the Academy.
I'm not even sure I can do
that. Every season, Tasha's voice goes up an octave. It's just one of the series motifs.
Nice. I just saw your text. Nice. Very true.
Right?
Anyway.
From the time like that when I wish Harley was here so I could send that to her too, but
Alright, so he leaves you. I'm going to summon Lieutenant Shabazz, and then I will send you with the guards now, if that is acceptable.
Sure.
But I will allow you, of course, to refresh yourself for a moment before.
Thanks.
Please do make yourselves as comfortable as you can. I, of course, ask that you do not leave the premises, but it may take an hour or so to summon the lieutenant. He is always very busy. He nods to you and exits. So, anything you guys want to do in the interim before I jump over to Fen?
I'm just gonna cast some spells.
Just some
but
spells.
I'm gonna cast those towards the end of the time.
Any specific spells, or are you just
yes. I'm gonna cast Tap Inner Beauty, and
Tap what?
Tap Inner Beauty.
What does that do?
It gives me a +2 to charisma-based skills.
It refreshes his makeup.
Yeah.
Felix, you are now just a shining cherub of a bedraggled orphan boy. You're like one of those in the arms of the angels puppies, just depressingly adorable. Just like everybody who looks at you just starts crying,
Mm-hmm.
They all think you're
There's a small choir singing around you at all times.
This is Samari.
Diplomacy as well.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Also cast, and I'd also like to cast Enhanced Diplomacy and Guidance.
Okay. So you're doing Channel Inner Beauty or Tap Inner Beauty.
Inner Beauty. Yep.
There's not enough of that Inner Beauty to just channel. You have to like tap it, otherwise it all runs out at once. That gives you a +2 on diplomacy.
Yes. Tap Inner Beauty gives me a +2 insight bonus on any charisma ability check. And charisma-based skill checks. And then Enhanced Diplomacy gives me a +2 to specifically on a single diplomacy or intimidate check. And then guidance gives me a +1 competence on any single skill check.
Okay. I'm pretty sure none of those are concentration, but can you just double check and make sure they're not?
Yeah.
Guidance would be the only one that I think might be, but I don't think it is.
It is. Let's see here.
I just want to
I
make
don't
sure you
see
can stack
anything
all
that
this.
says concentration. Yeah,
What did you
nothing about
find?
it says it's a concentration.
Okay. All right.
So
Then I
just
don't
making
see
sure
why.
that I am really on point when I talk to this person.
Yes.
Rolls a
Yeah.
natural one anyway.
Possibly pass one of these on. Unless
Okay.
Venmir would like, not Venmir. Wow, Ven.
Okay.
What am I doing? Who? What?
Okay. I
Unless
do.
Ven would like one of these cast on her instead. To boost
I mean,
her
I'll never
diplomacy.
say no to help with diplomacy. We might get it out of the negative numbers.
All right, I will cast the tap inner beauty on her instead of me, and just use the enhanced diplomacy and guidance on myself.
Okay. Well, be aware that tap inner beauty only lasts for 1 minute per level. So it's
Right.
only
Which is why I was planning on casting it just at the end of the time.
right, but
just
that's not
before
going to
we
do
were
anything
do
for her if she's just walking with
In that
guards.
case, keep it, I guess.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if I
have
need
no
to talk
idea
to
what you
people, I
might
can
be
lie
running
instead of.
into with the guards in the very first aspect, but okay.
You know, they're just charmed by your gorgeousness for like a full 120 seconds. Then after that, they're just like, "Why?"
Who is this dirty child standing in front of me?
Okay. And the last one was guidance, and guidance is 1 minute per level also.
I believe so. They should all last 2 minutes. So hopefully
Okay.
anything happens 2 minutes after the time is up.
Talk real damn fast.
And on the 3rd minute,
All right. So, are you casting the Are you guessing about the time? Or are you like waiting for something specific to
They
happen?
said it would be about an hour. So I was going to wait what felt like about an hour and then start being alert to see if I could notice anything happening. And then cast.
Oh, like once the door opens or what have you.
Yes.
Right, or if I hear people coming, that kind of a thing.
Okay.
They're trying to be alert to hear when something's about to happen in about an hour.
Okay. Just want to make sure you're saying that. All right. So, anybody else want to do anything that hour?
No.
Maybe Snappy. You're not there.
I know.
I assume I've been taken off with the guards.
Yeah.
Yes, the refreshments arrive.
We're having a. Yeah.
Shabazz encourages you to like get a drink of water and
I will take a
there's
drink.
dried fruits, some nuts, and
Free food is never to be turned down.
yeah.
Very true.
Felix is frantically stuffing it into his pockets. Oh wait, you don't eat anything. Never mind. Somebody's stuffing it into his pockets.
I just don't have to.
Yeah.
The
Eats for
animals
the
are like
experience.
the animals are like clawing up the water. I guess the fox isn't there.
Yeah, no, the fox is back with us. I will be right back. I need to use the bathroom, so if you're going to move on to Thenmir...
That's what I am.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Zuko's starting to lose her mind. His mind. I don't remember what it is. All right, bouncing to Thenmir. Which means that we're retroactively backing up a little bit in time. You are off to find the plebs. You make your way through the crowds back to their house, and you find the guards again. And they walk at the gate. They do not move to let you in. What is your business here with the Talebs family? All the voices sound exactly the same.
My party and I were sent on business for them, and I wish to reappear and make them aware of how it went.
The guards kind of look at each other. What is your name?
My name is Thenmir Arda.
All right, stay here. One of the guards goes off and disappears inside the house. You stand there for for a few moments. It's not very long. The guard doesn't make any move to converse with you.
I don't
Shor-
make any move to converse with him.
well,
So
good for you
there.
too. Shortly afterward, the guard reappears and waves you in. And you follow him through the darkened entry hall and back to the room where you first met with Unheady with his son. You see that both Unheady and Marana are back in the room. Unheady looks at you. Where's the rest of your group? I mean, I am pleased to see you returned, but there were several of you.
They are diffusing a situation.
Unheady's face visibly changes, and he quickly waves out any of the other servants and guards. The doors are shut behind you, and you hear the guards taking their posts outside. What has happened?
The address you sent us to. The occupant went to great lengths to share with us the reason why you were sending them a package. I don't believe much of what he was saying. None of it really seemed to make sense, but he kept saying that it was payment for some information he had.
What information?
I couldn't understand what he was saying. He kept gesturing to paperwork that I cared not to read. He took a drink of what I can only assume was wine, and all seemed well. My party and I turned to leave, only to hear a thud. I fear you may have to piece the information he had back together from said paperwork, because the foam at his mouth led us to believe poison. Guards were brought, and in an attempt to steer the conversation away from our business there, our stories were not entirely kept straight. So my party is currently trying to convince the guards that they need not be worried too greatly about it, while I managed to slip away to come and you that if you need for me, you need to go soon as contents of search.
Hang on one sec. Is he breaking up for anybody else?
Yes, he's breaking up for me too.
Ethan, your audio just got really choppy for the last 30 seconds of that.
Frick.
Okay, that's better.
How
Possibly.
far did you hear?
It started to get I feel like I'm not tracking this well. Wait, what was the last thing you said? You said in order to you said that the stories got kind of crossed up, and then it started to fall apart from there.
Okay. In an attempt to steer the conversation with the guards away from our business there, specifically who had sent us, our stories became a little bit mismatched. I managed to slip away to come warn you that if you want information that he had from that paperwork, you likely need to send someone soon, as the contents of the home are likely to be searched if they are not being searched already. The rest of my party, however, did not manage as easily, and are currently trying to convince the guards that we did nothing wrong and that they need not be worried about our reason for being there. I have one final piece of bad news, however. The package that we were sent with. The man was jabbering on about something, and the money that was inside, that I imagine I was not supposed to know was money, was scattered and taken by people out on the streets, and he threw the box it was in into his fireplace.
What if did you? Mirana steps forward. And you caught nothing, or what was said?
He was saying like the government is going mad and the Talevs work with terrible people and madness. He said something about hidden messages. And then he started describing a language that I had never heard of, and I am very well read. And that is when I generally tuned out the rest of his story, because it didn't seem to make any sense.
When you say that he was jabbering, would you describe his ramblings as those of a madman?
One driven to madness by fear, if his facial expression is anything to judge.
I see.
I don't like actions judged by fear.
Perhaps that is why. Can you make a bluff check, please?
Yes, but my headphones might disconnect, so give me a moment.
Okay.
I know whammies.
Mm-hmm. Samir didn't mention to anyone else in the party that he was going, correct?
Nope.
Okay, I don't think so.
None
Do
of
I
us
get
have-
any sort of advantage from staying so close to the truth?
No, they wouldn't know.
Natural 20.
Woo!
You're joking.
I can send you a picture.
Nice. No, I believe you. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to take notes on that so I can keep track of. All right. Understandable. Anhedi takes a quick step over to Mirana and whispers something in her ear. She nods almost imperceptibly, and he bows to you. Thank you for this information. We'll take action immediately. He exits the room quickly, and you hear his steps receding down the hallway.
Before she leaves, I'd like to sling my pack off my shoulder, reach in and pull out probably a handful of like 20 gold pieces. And I'm going to pull them out and I'm going to say, this was all I could collect off the street before everyone else took the rest. Do you want it back?
Who witnessed this?
Many people on the street.
Peasants? Humans?
I think they were people poor enough to only be focused on the money on the street, if that's what you're asking.
Is there any chance that they would have seen what occurred inside?
They would have seen what?
Sorry, I just realized I trailed that off like really quickly. Is there any chance that they would have seen what occurred inside?
He threw the gold out the window, and it was rather dark in his home. I don't imagine much could have been seen.
I see. Thank you for your information. Please do keep the gold as compensation for your troubles.
Thank you.
And where's the rest of your party?
When I saw them, they were walking with the guards that had been taken to the body.
All of them?
No.